Seeds of Dreams, the beginning of a poor farm boy. In 1918, a child was born in a small farmhouse in the peaceful town of Kingfisher, Oklahoma. His name was Samuel Moore Walton, later known as Sam Walton, who would build Walmart, the world's largest retail empire. His life was far from prosperous from the start. His family in childhood was ordinary like any American farm family, but within that ordinariness, the shadow of economic hardship was always deeply cast. His father was particularly lacking in business acumen, forcing the family to move from city to city, and Sam's early memories were marked by a continuous unstable life. The unfamiliar environment and endless poverty he had to endure when leaving behind the familiar countryside. And moving to Missouri left a deep sense of deprivation in young Sam's heart. This experience from his childhood would later become the primal motivation for him to pursue value for ordinary people. The period during which Sam Walton spent his childhood coincided with one of the most brutal periods in American history, the Great Depression. When the entire nation was floundering in endless stagnation and unemployment, rural areas were especially in the midst of deeper despair. The land could not properly yield crops, and even the harvests obtained could not fetch proper prices. What appeared on the dinner table daily were only corn and potatoes, and precious ingredients like sugar and meat were hard to even see. The family's livelihood was always precarious, and the anxiety of not knowing what tomorrow would bring weighed down young Sam's shoulders. Hunger and poverty became the biggest backdrop defining Sam's childhood, and this became a harsh school that naturally taught him life's perseverance and patience. However, Sam did not remain in frustration. From a young age, he struggled to escape this miserable reality. At dawn, when darkness had not yet lifted, he delivered newspapers to neighbors' houses with cold hands and did not refuse to milk cows and sell milk. He mowed lawns of unfamiliar houses and helped with farm work, covering his entire body with dust. When a few coins accumulated in his pocket, he did not spend them carelessly but saved them completely. These experiences made him deeply realize the value of labor and how arduous it was to earn money. Although his body was tired and difficult, he built his sense of existence through the small sense of achievement and self-reliance obtained through labor. This became the precious roots of his later success philosophy of diligence, sincerity, and honesty. The reality of not being able to fully unfold his desire to learn due to poverty came to young Sam as deep regret and, at the same time, intense longing. He always tried not to let go of books from his hands and cherished learning at school more than anything else. However, studies had to always be pushed behind labor for the family's livelihood. The fact that he could not attend school comfortably like others and had no opportunity to receive better education gave him a powerful motivation that he must break the shackles of poverty. In the cold reality of poverty, he grew the earnest dream of, "I will definitely succeed. I will break this endless chain of suffering and will not pass on to my children the difficulties I experienced." Like a prophecy that the small ember in his heart would one day become a huge flame that would light up the darkness of the world, it burned unwaveringly even in hardship. Wavering journey, challenge and unexpected setback. Even under the gloomy shadow of the Great Depression, young Sam Walton did not extinguish the ember of passion for learning. The pain of childhood when he could not devote himself to studies because of poverty rather gave him a thirst for scholarship. During the day, he worked tirelessly for the family's livelihood, and at night, he did not put down books until late. His eyes always sparkled with longing for knowledge. Finally, he entered the University of Missouri and majored in economics. To earn tuition and living expenses, he went through various part-time jobs even in college. He not only delivered milk but also sold newspapers on campus and even cleaned chairs at a barber shop. This difficult academic life taught him not only theoretical knowledge but also the harshness of the real world and the wisdom to survive in it simultaneously. During college, Sam performed ROTC Reserve Officers Training Corps activities and served as a Boy Scout leader, cultivating outstanding leadership and responsibility early on. Especially, Scout activities instilled in him the importance of teamwork and the perseverance to move toward goals. After college graduation, Sam Walton took his first step into retail by working as a management trainee at J.C. Penney department store in Des Moines, Missouri. The experience here became the most important learning ground in his life. He physically learned how to display goods in stores and manage inventory, how to respond to various customer demands, and, above all, the art of sales that convincingly conveys the value of products to customers. Although he was a trainee, he deeply immersed himself in even small tasks and tried to penetrate the essence of retail. He came to realize that selling goods was not simply an act of giving products and receiving money, but selling an experience that filled customers' needs and gave them satisfaction. Here, he began to gain deep insight into why customers choose specific products and how to make more customers satisfied and return to the store. During this period, he developed a sharp business sense that could read potential demand from even small changes in customers' expressions or actions. Also, he constantly pondered how to more efficiently arrange and display goods to catch customers' eyes. Sam Walton was finding answers at J.C. Penney department store to the question beyond the simple truth that the customer is king. How can I open customers' wallets and win their hearts? He began to develop a vague vision of wanting to add value to people's lives beyond simply selling goods. The ideas he had about store operations were somewhat distant from the store operation methods of the time. But he was cultivating the potential to develop them in his own way from this time. The realization that satisfying customers and providing the best value at the optimal price was the core of business seeped into his heart. Sam Walton's life met another turning point. As America entered World War II, he served in the military. Although he did not participate in direct combat, he gained important experience in organizational management and operations by serving as an officer in charge of aircraft factory security. This period was a time when he had to put aside his dream of being a businessman. But at the same time, it became an opportunity to further materialize and refine the business plans he had been conceiving. When the war ended and peace came, the intense longing for business that had been suppressed for a long time burned again in his heart. He no longer wanted to delay his dreams by working under someone else. He wanted to start his own business and show the world the innovative ideas that had been circling in his head. After discharge, Sam began to pour all his energy into raising funds to start his own business with his wife Helen Robson. Now he was about to move forward without hesitation toward his first business, where he would pour all his passion. Planting seeds: the challenge of the first store, Ben Franklin store. In 1945, after the smoke of World War II cleared and peace came, Sam Walton finished his long military service and returned to civilian life. In his hands were his discharge papers, along with vague expectations for an uncertain future and burning entrepreneurial passion. Throughout his poor childhood, the Great Depression era, and the turbulent period of war, a flame had always been burning in his heart: I will start my own business. Now was the time to turn that flame into reality. He set out to raise funds for his first challenge to make his dream a reality. In married life with his wife Helen Robson, he was able to raise $20,000 with help from her parents, and to this, he added $5,000 using a loan he received during military service. A total capital of $25,000 was not a small amount at the time, but he could only see business success. This money was not just pieces of paper. It was his desperate commitment to breaking childhood poverty and giving his beloved family a stable future. And it was the last hope thrown toward an uncertain future. He staked all his passion and dreams on this $25,000. Based on that capital, Sam made the bold decision to acquire a Ben Franklin store in the small town of Newport, Arkansas. Ben Franklin was a famous American franchise store at the time, also called a 5 and 10 cent store, selling various household goods at low prices. Newport was a quiet rural town with a population of just over 7,000, but Sam saw a new opportunity there to grow his dreams. Through this store, he began to test the retail know-how he learned at J.C. Penney department store and fully demonstrate the business acumen he had honed since childhood. Store operations were never easy. He had to solve everything himself, from product selection to display to customer service. Sam practically lived in the store from early morning until late at night. At dawn, he swept the floor and wiped dust, and during the day, he talked with numerous customers, making eye contact with each one. He constantly listened to what customers wanted and what products they wanted to buy more cheaply. This small store was a precious laboratory for success, full of his passion and sweat. He tried to go beyond the limitations of the Ben Franklin store. While most franchise stores at the time sold products designated by headquarters at set prices, Sam Walton boldly introduced his own differentiated pricing strategy. He thoroughly adhered to the so-called "sell it cheaper" principle. His philosophy was clear: I will sell cheaper than anyone else. That way, more people will come, and the more I sell, the more profit increases. To realize this simple yet powerful belief, he traveled all over the country to directly find the cheapest suppliers. Rather than following the existing franchise system's margin rates, he chose a strategy to increase overall profits by increasing turnover. Even if margins were minimized as much as possible, competitors around him poured ridicule and criticism on his method. He heard sarcasm like, "He's not in his right mind, selling like that will soon lead to ruin," but Sam did not yield. Rather, he further solidified his conviction and recalled, "When everyone else was laughing at me, I was rather convinced that I was on the right path." His low-price strategy immediately caused an explosive response among Newport residents. People flocked to Sam's store, and the store was always overflowing with vitality and energy. He built trust by providing value to customers beyond price competitiveness. Sam Walton's Ben Franklin store achieved remarkable results in just 2 years. Sales increased dramatically enough to pay off all the debts he borrowed when starting the business. His store was counted as one of the most successful stores in the region, and using this success as a stepping stone, Sam began expanding chain stores to areas around Arkansas. He did not settle for success but sought new ideas every day to improve the store. Efficient lighting arrangement that could not be seen in other 5 and 10-cent stores at the time. Product displays considering customer traffic flow, and above all, the warm customer service approach that warmly talked to each customer and tried to understand their needs made his store special. He personally arranged products on display stands, discovered new products, and directly commanded improvements to old facilities. His tireless efforts and innovative mindset left a great threat and deep impression on surrounding merchants. The success of the first store went beyond simple personal achievement, became the foundation of the later Walmart myth, and became a small but meaningful signal predicting what ripples the name Sam Walton would cause in American retail history. His first seed began to sprout with hope. Sam Walton's passion and dedication breathed vitality into the small town of Newport, heralding the prelude to the great change that would change America's distribution landscape. 4 unexpected crises forced closure and new departure. The Ben Franklin store successfully in Newport, Arkansas. Sam Walton proved his outstanding business acumen and customer-centric philosophy in a short time. His groundbreaking low-price strategy and customer-friendly service that no one could imitate gained explosive response from local residents. And the store grew day by day with throngs of customers. In just 2 years, he paid off all debts borrowed when starting the business, and sales increased explosively every year. Now Sam was full of hope and confidence to expand his business and move toward bigger dreams. He was day and night conceiving the next stage, drawing numerous pictures in his head. However, before he could even get drunk on the sweetness of success, an unexpected crisis cast a shadow. When the store lease contract expired, the landlord envied and coveted Sam's success. The landlord, who had been watching Sam's store operation, methods and sales growth rate as a seasoned businessman, demanded 3 times the existing rent under the pretext that his son would directly operate a store there. When Sam rejected the unreasonable proposal, he notified him to vacate the store. This news was like a bolt from the blue to Sam Walton. The fact that he had to forcibly give up his first business, built with blood and sweat, regardless of his will, gave him indescribable frustration along with a deep sense of betrayal. "What exactly did I do wrong?" he repeated countless times while lying in bed at night looking at the ceiling, but could not find an answer. He suffered sleepless nights in the sense of loss of having to lose a thriving business in an instant. He was only 29. The unexpected pressure to withdraw from business at life's most shining moment was too harsh a trial for the young businessman. It hurt even more because that store was his first independent business with his name on it. But he soon pulled himself together. "I can't give up. It's not because I'm incompetent. It wasn't a problem with my management ability, but simply due to uncontrollable external factors, namely real estate issues and the landlord's greed. I definitely know how to succeed. Instead of collapsing, he gritted his teeth and prepared to stand up again. Although he had the painful experience of having to withdraw from business. Regardless of his will, this incident gave him a powerful lesson that his success should not be swayed by external factors, especially uncontrollable variables like lease contracts. This would have a tremendous impact on Walmart's real estate ownership strategy later. Eventually, he had to leave Newport to find new opportunities. For him, this went beyond simply moving a store. It was a foothold to overcome frustration and stand up again, and a determination to re-challenge toward a bigger and more independent vision. Through this ordeal, Sam drew a clear blueprint for creating his own brand. And directly owning and expanding a chain based on that brand, beyond simply operating a store. The success in Newport clearly showed how much potential the discount store model he operated had. He had directly proven that there was enough chance of winning if quality products were supplied at low prices even in small towns. In his head, specific plans to further develop and expand this discount store business model in his own way without anyone's interference were already emerging. This was his excellent insight that accurately penetrated changes in public consumption patterns, somewhat removed from the retail industry practices of the time. And at the same time a bold vision toward the future. This deep insight and conviction led him to make a bold decision. He left behind the regret in Newport and moved to Bentonville, a small city with a population of just over 2,000 located further northwest in Arkansas. In 1950, Sam acquired another Ben Franklin franchise store called Walton's 5 and 10 here. The painful experience in Newport awakened him to the importance of having space where he could proactively apply his management philosophy and strategy rather than passively following franchise headquarters guidelines. In Bentonville, he began to more actively test his ideas and add innovation to store operations. He once again confirmed the importance of providing various products at reasonable prices to consumers in rural areas. And was convinced that this was the path he should take. This period was an important turning point when Sam Walton grew as a true businessman. With a vision to change the American retail landscape, not just a store owner. He began to dream of his own business empire that would no longer be swayed by others' decisions. And that dream was preparing to surprise the entire world by becoming the huge reality called Walmart later. The forced closure of the first store was a painful ordeal, but at the same time, it became a solid foothold for a bigger leap for him. The small store in Bentonville was becoming another seed for his grand dream, firmly taking root. 5. Birth of Walmart, the beginning and innovation of new distribution. While successfully operating Walton's 5 and 10 feet in Bentonville, Sam Walton further solidified his conviction in his management philosophy and discount store model. Through the painful experience in Newport, he deeply realized how important it was to directly own buildings and secure operational autonomy for stable business expansion. He no longer wanted to experience the pain of having his dreams swayed by external factors. Now he was seized by an intense longing to establish his own independent discount store, beyond simply operating a franchise store. At the time, a new form of retail called discount stores was gradually emerging throughout the United States. But most large discount stores were forming centered on large cities with high population density. This seemed like a natural choice according to market logic. However, Sam Walton was different. His vision was to provide ordinary people living in marginalized rural areas with the same quality products as large city stores at low prices. He firmly believed that residents of rural towns where he was born and raised deserved to enjoy cheap and diverse products as much as urban consumers. This belief was a sincere vision stemming from the pain of having to give up many things because of poverty in his childhood. After much deliberation and all-night research, finally on July 2, 1962, the first independent discount store, Walmart, condensed with all of Sam Walton's passion and dreams, opened its grand doors in Rogers, Arkansas. This name, meaning Walton's Mart, went beyond simply taking the founder's name and fully contained Sam Walton's philosophy of making ordinary people's lives more abundant. From the start, Walmart showed groundbreaking moves that overturned retail industry practices of the time. instead of the splendid and formal atmosphere of typical large department stores of the time. Sam aimed for the lowest prices, always with the conviction of minimizing unnecessary costs as much as possible and returning those saved costs entirely to customers. On the store opening day, he personally greeted customers at the store entrance, conveying sincere thanks to each one. His face showed the emotion of a long-held dream, excitement about a new challenge, and strong conviction about success crossing each other. This step, started in the small town of Rogers, was the magnificent prelude, announcing the beginning of a great revolution that would completely change the global distribution industry landscape later. This was not simply the opening of a store, but the moment when Sam Walton's great vision to bring greater value to ordinary people's daily lives became reality. Walmart grew explosively through Sam Walton's thoroughly differentiated strategy. While most large competitors at the time tried to preempt large city markets with high population density and great purchasing power, he conversely expanded stores to small rural areas with populations under 5,000 that were considered to have low growth potential. This was not simply a bypass strategy. Sam Walton knew the reality of the rural areas where he was born and raised better than anyone. He penetrated the potential demand of rural residents who were marginalized from the benefits urban consumers enjoyed. This strategy brought strong competitive advantages in two ways. First, rent was cheaper than large cities and there was less competition, so initial investment costs could be reduced, and second, rural residents warmly welcomed Walmart because they could buy necessary items cheaply without traveling long distances. Walmart did not stop at simply selling things cheaply. Sam kept as diverse and abundant varieties of products as large city stores despite being a small store in rural areas. This gave rural customers an amazing and innovative shopping experience, as if a small city department store had entered the town. Walmart soon became more than just a simple town store, settling deeply as a gathering place where neighbors met to share affection and a center where everything in life could be solved. The core of Sam Walton's management philosophy was in unwavering customer satisfaction priority and building an innovative system ahead of the times. He always emphasized, "Customers are the only reason for our existence," and devoted all efforts to saving even 1 cent to provide maximum value to customers. To this end, he made the slogan, "Always the lowest price," not a simple marketing phrase, but an unwavering philosophy penetrating all of Walmart's operating methods and corporate culture. To supply products at the cheapest price, he boldly destroyed traditional distribution stages and minimized intermediate distribution stages. He purchased products in bulk directly from manufacturers to lower supply prices as much as possible, and built his own logistics and transportation system to maximize logistics efficiency. It was a tremendous investment at the time, but this innovatively reduced distribution costs. Not only this, but he actively began to introduce computer systems and satellite communication networks, which were cutting-edge technology at the time, for efficient inventory management. Sales data from each store was shared and analyzed with headquarters in real time to accurately grasp which products were popular with customers and optimize store composition. The so-called cross-docking system was an innovative method of loading goods that came into logistics warehouses directly onto other trucks and sending them to stores without storing them, greatly contributing to cost reduction and delivery time reduction. His innovative approach transformed Walmart beyond a simple store into a sophisticated logistics and information technology company. This later became a model for supply chain management (SCM), and became a benchmarking target for many companies. Sam Walton realized early that technology determines corporate competitiveness and boldly invested. And this became the decisive foundation for Walmart's growth into a huge distribution empire. 6. Changing the market, growth myth that shook the distribution industry landscape. After the first Walmart store opened in Rogers in 1962, Sam Walton's "always the lowest price" strategy had a much greater ripple effect than expected. Rural area residents were enthusiastic about the fact that they could buy quality products cheaply at Walmart, instead of expensive city goods, and word of mouth spread quickly. Entering the 1970s, Walmart, like a huge train starting an unstoppable rush, showed explosive growth while rapidly expanding stores throughout the United States. In the early days of founding, it concentrated on southern regions like Arkansas and Missouri. But Sam Walton instinctively knew that his business model could succeed throughout the country. He used a strategy of solidly building regional footholds by opening stores in succession, not just in one store per city, but in several adjacent small cities and towns. Walmart stores expanded this way became more than just shopping spaces, becoming beacons of hope that created employment opportunities as the center of local economies. Areas where Walmart entered regained vitality, and this created a virtuous cycle that led to Walmart's sales growth again. Walmart's success was not simply due to low prices alone. Sam Walton secured strong competitive advantages by constantly introducing innovative management methods that went beyond the limitations of existing retail. He reduced costs by boldly omitting intermediate distribution stages and directly contracting with manufacturers to purchase products in bulk. This was not all. He spared no massive investment in building an independent logistics and distribution system that could efficiently cover America's vast land. He built large logistics warehouses at major points and directly operated numerous trucks to supply products to all stores quickly and cheaply. The sight of Walmart trucks traveling throughout the United States transporting products seemed as if Sam Walton's vision was moving around alive and breathing. Also, Sam Walton was a pioneer who realized the importance of technology earlier than anyone. From the 1970s, he introduced a computer-based inventory management system, which was innovative at the time, to share and analyze sales data from each store with headquarters in real time. This played a decisive role in minimizing product stockouts and reducing inventory burden, while accurately grasping which products were popular with customers and optimizing store composition. The so-called cross-docking system was an innovative method of not storing goods that came into logistics warehouses, but loading them directly onto other trucks and sending them to stores, greatly contributing to cost reduction and delivery time reduction. His innovative approach transformed Walmart beyond a simple store into a sophisticated logistics and information technology company. Sam Walton also had an innovative employee-centered management philosophy that treated employees not as simple laborers but as associates growing together. He encouraged all employees to have pride that they were important subjects contributing to Walmart's success. To this end, he introduced a groundbreaking profit-sharing system so that when the company grew, employees could also share the fruits together. Employees received incentives according to store sales performance and even had opportunities to own stocks, able to have a sense of ownership in the company. The executive meeting held every Saturday morning at headquarters was not simply a business report time. Sam Walton always talked with employees without formality, listened to their ideas, and celebrated together even small successes. He knew better than anyone that store employees' experiences and opinions were customers' voices. He even directly visited multiple stores every week to talk directly with field employees to identify problems and seek solutions. His sincere leadership gave employees deep emotion and motivation. And Walmart grew as a family-like community, achieving dreams together beyond a simple workplace. Employees' high sense of ownership and loyalty eventually led to improved customer service quality, and this became Walmart's continuous growth engine. The 1970s was truly an era of rapid progress for Walmart. Sam Walton's excellent management strategy, innovative system, and employee-centered management demonstrated synergy, and Walmart grew unstoppably. Hundreds of stores opened throughout the United States, and numerous small and medium-sized retail stores and competitors knelt before Walmart's powerful competitiveness. By the end of the 1970s, Walmart remarkably stood tall as one of America's largest retail chains. A small dream that started in a poor rural town grew into a huge distribution empire covering the entire United States in just a few decades. Sam Walton established himself as a retail revolutionary who restructured America's distribution industry and changed numerous people's consumption habits, beyond simply a businessman who sold things cheaply. His success was a valuable achievement made by his sincere vision to provide ordinary people with better quality of life at low prices, not simple personal glory. He said, "I feel the greatest pride in providing opportunities to others," always reminding himself that his success was never his alone. 7 Life philosophy and legacy. Great success completed by sharing. Sam Walton grew Walmart into America's best distribution company through the 1970s to the 1980s, and he himself became one of the world's top billionaires. However, his life was distinctly different from typical billionaires. Instead of owning splendid mansions, luxury limousines, or luxurious yachts, he cut his hair at an ordinary neighborhood barbershop, drove an old pickup truck himself, and his favorite clothes were ordinary products bought at Walmart. The sight of mending torn clothes and eating meals with employees in the company cafeteria was closer to that of a sincere local merchant than a billionaire. His frugal life attitude left a deep impression not only on people around him but on all Walmart employees. This was never a staged act. The severe poverty he experienced in childhood and the deprivation during the Great Depression period were deeply imprinted on his body and mind. Maintaining a life attitude that warned against waste and extravagance of materials even after success. He never forgot the value of money along with the preciousness of labor, and this spirit was directly reflected in Walmart's lowest price strategy. Putting cost reduction first, eliminating waste and returning the benefit to customers was Sam Walton's philosophy. And this started from his personal frugality. Sam Walton had a noble spirit of social contribution that went beyond simply making money and wanted to contribute to society as a whole. His belief was because he deeply recognized that his success was not achieved only by individual effort but thanks to the support and trust of society members. He particularly wanted to realize the value of service and sharing he learned through scout activities in his youth through business. He understood and tried to practice corporate social responsibility earlier than anyone. And this became established as the core value even after Walmart grew into a huge company. Sam considered it his final mission to provide practical help to neighbors suffering from poverty and marginalization, and contribute to creating a better society. He believed that true success, beyond simply accumulating wealth, was helping more people have hope through that wealth. His philosophy, as Walmart continued to grow, presented a model for how companies can contribute to society. Sam Walton and Walmart practiced his sharing philosophy by contributing to society in various ways. The areas he particularly focused on were education and local community development. He actively donated to building hospitals, libraries, museums, etc. in local communities and established various scholarship foundations to support students in difficult circumstances to continue their studies without losing their dreams. Sam did not forget his experience of having difficulty with studies because of poverty, and had a strong will not to pass on such difficulties to future generations. Also, in each area where Walmart stores entered, they contributed to revitalizing local economies by preferentially hiring local residents and selling products made by local producers. His efforts planted the perception that Walmart was not a simple store, but a partner growing with the local community, and this again led to customers' deep trust and love for Walmart. Sam Walton emphasized that corporate profits should be used not simply to return to shareholders but to breathe vitality into the local communities where the company is located and improve residents' quality of life. His social contribution was not a one-time event but a core value permeated throughout Walmart's overall operations. Sam Walton was an influential leader who will be long remembered not only for his management achievements, but also for the impact his management philosophy and sharing spirit had on future generations. He boldly introduced a profit-sharing system with the philosophy that employees are colleagues, and their happiness is the company's success, and this later became a benchmarking target for numerous companies. Also, his efforts to provide customers with the best value while adhering to, always, the lowest price completely changed the paradigm of the distribution industry and brought revolutionary changes to consumer purchasing behavior. His story became a living lesson showing how an individual can expand the meaning of their success to social responsibility, and the value of sharing to create greater meaning, beyond a simple entrepreneur's success story. Sam Walton passed away in 1992, but his name and philosophy live on forever in the huge company called Walmart, and his sharing spirit in the hearts of countless people. He proved with his entire life that his life was a message of hope, and his story still awakens many people to the true meaning of dreams, courage, and sharing. 8 Message of Hope for the Extraordinary Dreams of Ordinary People. We have walked together through the amazing journey of Sam Walton, who started as an ordinary rural boy and built Walmart, the world's largest distribution empire. His life was never smooth. The poor childhood under the shadow of the Great Depression, the youth when he did not refuse hard labor for the family's livelihood. The painful frustration of having even his first business taken away by the landlord's greed. Numerous hardships and adversities persistently followed as if to swallow him. However, Sam Walton never once stayed in the swamp of despair. Rather, he became stronger by using moments of frustration as stepping stones and kindled the embers of hope in pain. His life was the brightest symbol of overcoming adversity, standing up with indomitable will while trampling on the harsh reality of poverty and difficulty. His eyes always looked toward one place, and that direction was toward a better future. Sam Walton was a great strategist and extraordinary businessman, but at the same time an extremely realistic idealist. He developed the simple idea of sell cheap and make profit into an innovative business model that no competitor in the world could covet. He saw the potential of rural areas rather than large cities, and spared no investment in technology to build an efficient logistics and inventory management system that was unimaginable at the time. His philosophy of treating employees as associates and sharing profits with them made Walmart not simply a company but one huge community. His dream that started from the small Walton's 5 and 10 feet had a tremendous impact that went beyond the huge company called Walmart. To restructure the distribution industry throughout the United States and change the consumption lives of countless people around the world. His success was never achieved by luck or innate talent alone. It was a great result created by deep understanding of customers, constant innovation, and tireless execution to make that dream a reality. He proved with his entire life how extraordinary dreams that ordinary people have can change the world. The greatest resonance that Sam Walton's life gives us is the realization that the value of success is not simply in accumulating material wealth. He became a global billionaire but still maintained a simple and frugal life. He rode an old pickup truck to visit stores, mingled with employees without formality, and had no hesitation in sharing his wealth with society. He established the Walton Family Foundation with his assets and generously donated to various fields, such as education and environmental conservation, personally practicing sharing and social responsibility. His actions made many people ask the fundamental question, what is true success? To Sam Walton, success was never a destination. It was a means and beginning to give opportunities to more people, have a positive impact on society, and contribute to the world. He wanted to implement his life philosophy and beliefs through the medium of money and convey hope to more people. His success, completed by spiritual abundance and social value beyond material wealth, remains an example to many even today. Now, as this story of hope comes to an end, Sam Walton is quietly but intensely asking you who have been here together through his life. Do you perhaps have a high and solid wall of failure blocking your way now? Are you fighting the temptation to give up? If so, remember Sam Walton's story. He found the courage to stand up again even in frustration deeper than yours. Believe in the indomitable will latent within you and take steps again toward your own dream. Or, have you already achieved much but an emptiness that cannot be filled remains in one corner of your heart? Are you craving what true happiness is? Realize through Sam Walton's life. True success is completed not by glory alone but when shared and growing together. Your small sharing can be hope for a new life to someone.